Hi everyone! Thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. If you are new here, my name is Sandy, and on this channel we talk about all things interior design. If you are a regular on my channel, you'll probably notice that the setup is a little different, and I'm joined by a guest today. This is one of my favorite people in Atlanta, Ashleigh Esprit, who is the creator of the Studio Social, which is what we are here to interview you about today.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes. Can't wait. So for those who don't know at home, Ashleigh, can you explain to us what is the Studio Social?
Basically, the Studio Social is a one-stop shop platform for interior design job seekers and employers.
So if I am looking for a job, how would I go about reaching out to the Studio Social?
So the best way, what we're doing right now is, because we are building our network, we would suggest that you go on our website, thestudiosocial.com, and fill out the form. And basically that form gives us the first amount of information that we need. So basically your name, what you're looking for, if you're looking to work in a showroom, if you're looking to work in a firm, if you're looking for a full-time, part-time opportunity, or also just a plain old internship. And it basically just lets us know just first, like, okay, this is what this person needs. And then we reach out to you and get more details with your experiences and where you are currently in your education and things like that.
Okay. So if I'm an employer, tell me and walk us through what the process is like when an employer reaches out to you seeking to fill a position.
So once a company or a designer reaches out to us for trying to fill a position, we basically set up a phone call conversation to find out who they are, what the company culture is, and basically what the position is about. So we find out the status of it, we find out the description, the responsibilities, the pay. We basically get all the information, because what we do is connect the existing talent in our network. Does it match up with what they are looking for as well? And if it's not something that the existing people in our network is looking for, then that's when we go outside of that and then search that way to fill their positions.
Okay. So if I'm an employer, I'm seeking you to fill this position. And you have like this pool of talent that you're pulling from. How do you screen the talent to only send me viable applicants? Like, do you pre-interview them, or is there anything like how's that?
We, for one, make sure that they are interior design focused. That's what they're looking for, because the Studio Social is niche focused to the interior design industry. And so we have to make sure that that is what they are currently looking for, and that's what their experience is in. So we kind of just ask a few questions. It's not like a whole interview, like, okay, so what have you done in the past 5 years or anything like that? Like, we're just saying, like, hey, so what is your current position? Why do you want to do something in interior design?
So you don't need anyone's like mother's maiden name or like the last four of their social.
Right, we don't need anything like that. We don't need any references or anything like that. The reason why we don't do that is because a lot of people are just dabbling into the interior design industry, so they might not even have any experience. So we just want to kind of know, like, the last thing that you've done, as well as we want to find out what are you looking for? Like, where do you see yourself? So, like, basically, because some people don't want to work for a firm. They feel like that's kind of a lot of pressure right now. So they're like, okay, well, I want to start off with a showroom, kind of getting to know the feel of the industry, learning that on the textiles end, as well as some people just want internship. So they're just looking for something a little bit small just to get their feet wet. And then also we had a few people reach out to us just for events. You know, they're like, oh, I just want to go to some events. Any suggestions where I can meet some people that could really help me and get to know the industry better?
So you're saying, just so that everyone at home understands, you don't have to have like this established 5-year portfolio of experience to reach out to you. Varying levels of people with experience can reach out. Exactly. That's something that you guys are always really nervous about. I get a lot of questions and a lot of DMs about, I don't have a lot of experience. I'm just trying to get my toe wet. How do I go about doing that when people want so much experience? So the Studio Social would be a great resource for reaching out when you're just starting out. Because I've been on the site, and you guys don't just have internships and jobs. There's also some volunteer opportunities as well. Yes,
because we really, really encourage volunteer opportunities a lot because of the experience that I've had in the industry. Because what we're pushing at the Studio Social is building your resume right now. And that starts with volunteer opportunities. A lot of people don't really realize that volunteer opportunities are kind of like work, and it's experience. You're in the field, you're working, you're doing certain things. Yeah. And so that's why we push for people who don't have experience in interior design to say, hey, go volunteer at an event, like go work, kind of, because you start to learn the knowledge, you get the verbiage going on, you get the lingo, and you're actually seeing how people move in the industry, if you will. And so definitely that's why we push volunteer opportunities a lot.
I just want to second that. They're so important. I have actually gotten a lot of volunteer opportunities through Ashleigh, because before she started the Studio Social, I followed you on just Instagram, and you would always post, you know, this is happening, there's a show house happening, there's this tour of homes happening, market is happening, and I would just like stay on your page, just like, what else can I do? What else can I do? Because when you're in school and your head is like buried in your book, you forget to like pull your head out of your book and go to these things. Yeah. I used to work at a showroom, and one of the ways I even had some experience with showrooms a little bit to land that job was because there was January market going on here in Atlanta, and they take on a lot of temps during January market. Yes. And Ashleigh posted about them needing some temporary salespeople to just help with the influx of people shopping that they get. Yes. Literally thousands of people come to the mart to shop that normally wouldn't be there. So they need a lot of assistance. Yes. And that was, Ashleigh was posting, hey, this showroom needs some help. And then I contacted her, they contacted me, and I was able to just temp for a few days with them. And I did it like twice, 2 years in a row.
So good. Yeah, that was that. It was such a good weekend too. It was really fun.
It was fun. You have been like doing this before you made it an official brand.
Right.
But you have just been like networking like the whole time. I'm so happy that you're doing this.
Thank you. And that's what birthed the Studio Social, is me doing it for so many companies and doing it for so many individuals like yourself, like that's talented. And I was just looking for a way in. And so for me, being able to connect the two, I was just like, okay, there's a need here. Let me make this a thing and really help people connect and get the opportunities and build their resumes now. That's definitely
super
lacking.
Important. Okay, so you just touched on resumes. Do you help with the resumes? Do you offer any kind of going over it, someone submitting it, and then you giving them feedback?
I do give advice. Okay. Me and my team, like if someone asks us, if we have a phone conversation and someone asks us, like definitely for sure, we will give you advice. Say, hey, email it to us. We'll look over it. We'll say, hey, take this out, add this, put this in order. Make sure you put certain programs on there that you can do. But because we are a startup, we are looking to do workshops for people, not even just design students, because they do have a little bit of coursework, but we do want to do it for students to go a little bit more in detail, but also for individuals who haven't gone to school, who are just looking to kind of just get in it. So we want to eventually be able to do workshops for them.
Okay. All right. I really enjoy like that you're offering it to people who aren't also in school or maybe don't have that degree. Yeah. So touching on that, this is a question I get asked a lot. Do you feel you actually went to school for interior design?
Yes.
Yes. And where did you go to school?
So I got my associates at Gwinnett Technical College in Lawrenceville, Georgia. And then I went to get my bachelor's degree at Brown University, which is in Gainesville. Okay.
Do you feel that the level of things that you learned from getting an associate was very different from what you learned from getting your bachelor's?
Yes, for sure. I say yes because the two schools are different. One is the technical school and one is a private university. So the curriculum and what they expect are a little bit different. With going from Gwinnett to Brown, it's a little bit, it kind of went in more detail, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. So I get a lot of people asking me if an associate, if it's okay to have an associate or if it's better to have a bachelor's. And I tell them experience is just experience. Get as much experience as you can. Even if you have a degree, but you've never worked at a firm and you've never interned anywhere, then no one's going to hire you because you don't have the experience. Right. And you can get experience with either degree. Yes. However, I would understand why a bachelor's would be going in more in depth than associates because you merely just have more time. Yes. It's a whole other 2 years.
Yeah. And I would say, I think the difference for that is that with the versus the associates and the bachelor's, it's all about where you want to go, because with the associates you can do residential design, you can get certain type of jobs, But if you want to go in commercial, you have to get a bachelor's. So I just don't want people to think that
you can just start doing it. Yeah, you really should get a bachelor's if you're going to go into commercial design. If you want to get into commercial design,
because that's what I did when I got my associates. Probably a year before I graduated with my associates, I kind of figured out like, hey, I really do want to go into commercial design. And so I had to go get a bachelor's because that's the minimum to get a job at a commercial firm is a bachelor's degree. And if you have an associate,
they want more experience in that?
Yeah, they do.
All right. And you also went to Bernal was an accredited school, right? They're CETA certified.
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that if someone wants to go into interior design, do they need to go to an accredited school?
For sure, because it solidifies your education. It tells whoever's hiring you that you went to a quality school, because that's what CETA is for, is to make sure that you're learning what you're supposed to be learning to help the world, to basically say that you are qualified to design a hospital.
Design a hospital or a school, or a hotel or whatever.
Or a hotel, like you have the smarts.
Design things that don't kill people. Stable structures. You're the little piggy who built their house from brick and not from the straw or the hay or whatever that other.
Exactly. I can trust you to know that if I walk in this building, it won't collapse on me.
Pop and blow down. So going into going to an accredited school lets someone know that you have like the true and technical knowledge off the bat without you having to tell somebody.
Yes.
Do you think that there is a difference? I've highlighted this on my channel, but I want your opinion. Do you think that there's a difference between interior design and interior decorating?
Yes.
So what, in your opinion, is the difference between decorating and design?
For me, I would start with decorating first. Decorating is basically focusing on FF&E.
For those who don't know what that acronym means, what does FF&E mean?
FF&E is furnishing, fabrics, and electrical. So basically, you're focused just on the fabrics, the furniture pieces, and the electrical. And that's literally the basis of electrical, just the lighting fixtures. You're not going
you're
into
not like
sockets.
Moving an electric. You're not moving a receptacle from this place to that place. So like just like picking the lighting.
You're just picking the decorative. You're just sourcing, the pretty stuff, the look of it. And that goes in to our point with interior design, is that with interior designers, you focus on the receptacles, you focus on the light switches, you focus on the fixtures and where they go, and making sure that, okay, that light switch goes, it turns on this and that, you know what I'm saying? Yes. And then interior design goes more into space planning, which is really, really important. Interior design really goes into the details of everything, but because interior designers, for example, focus on wall types. Interior decorators don't do that. They just walk into a space and say...
Okay, so they won't know what that is. I do. But what are, like, give me, like, 2 different wall types.
So I could just name 2. There's like a partition wall and a fire rated wall. Okay. So basically a partition wall is basically a wall that just separates 2 separate spaces. So think of it as like a limousine. So when they put that shield up, that's considered just a partition wall where you kind of have your privacy. The other person can't see through that wall or really hear through it. A fire rated wall is a special wall that has materials in it that it doesn't fight against fire, but it makes the fire cannot get through it for a certain amount of time. Like it's built for people to have enough time to get out of the building before the fire gets through the wall. So it could be an exterior wall, or it can be a wall inside of a building that separates, basically 2 businesses, if you will. So,
So a partition wall is just to separate. It's really kind of like a vanity wall.
Yes.
And then a fire rated wall is for safety.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so that's a good
code too.
It's a code. So those are like your main differences, where like a designer would really focus on the actual building materials of a structure, and a decorator is going to focus on these pillows, this curtain, this plant that's here. There are decorators, I would say, that have the knowledge and do more and go and straddle those lines back and forth. But if you don't ever want to go into changing plumbing and moving electrical around and hiring a contractor and doing all those things, and you just want to do the fun styling stuff, you can make a whole career doing that. So I don't think there's any, like, I don't think one's lesser than the other.
No.
But I think where sometimes designers get their feathers ruffled is when people think that what they do is decorating.
Yes.
And they're like, I do so much more.
And I've been there before where people, like my mom, will think like, oh, you're just decorating stuff. And I'm like, no. I had a whole class on building codes and lighting where I have to build these things. I have to do detailing and making sure that I built the right crown molding. Or making sure that the lighting switches go to where they're supposed to go, or picking the right carpet, or, you know, making sure that it's ADA for some whatever reason, making sure that the space is up to code, making sure that the space is livable, making sure that the place that I'm building for these projects that is up to code.
And
basically
is accessible, and is just like all these things.
Exactly. And there is a difference, and there isn't wrong with being a decorator. I met a lot of successful decorators because they do more. They do paint and things like that. They do outside work, like they can do landscaping.
Some of them do landscaping,
so many specialties in interior design, but that also dabbles in with interior decorators having so many specialties as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're just not stuck to one thing, if you will.
No, they're not. Like, you could style for, you could be a decorator and style for like photo shoots.
Yes.
For like,
and sets.
And sets and movie sets. You can do, you can write. You could just be a writer who writes about design. You can just do commercial. You can just do residential. You can just do nurseries. There's so many specialties.
You can focus on materials. Like, you can go work in the paint world. Like, you can do textiles. Like, it's so many things.
There are designers
that you can do.
There are designers who never ever touch a soft finish ever, and they only ever space plan. They get all 4 walls, and then they figure out where all the inside walls are going to be, and they space plan, and they do wayfinding, and that's all they do, and they never touch paint, color, nothing ever.
That's it.
So you can do into that, and there are people who are really good at that, and that pays really well. My brain just needs more pretty. My brain needs like more colors and textures and glam. But if you're not like that, and you have like more of like a really technical mind, that kind of stuff would be perfect for you. And that person is considered an interior designer.
Yes.
So there's that aspect of it too. And you've started your business in Atlanta. I have an audience where over 50% of them are not in Atlanta.
Nice.
Do you have job postings that cater to outside of Georgia?
Of course. We are definitely, right now, we're nationwide. We're doing companies and job postings nationwide in different states, New York, Wisconsin, Florida, California, Texas, and things like that. Eventually, we do want to be worldwide, but right now we are nationwide.
Okay. That's good to know. And what advice do you have for our audience at home who wants to get their foot into interior design? What skills or what kind of professionalism do you feel that these companies are looking for in these applicants that are coming to you?
One advice, and I know it's kind of cliche, is being yourself, because everyone brings something different to the table. No one skill is better than the next. Everybody brings something different. And so if you're confident in knowing what you're knowing, like your skills, like you know Revit, then that's what it is. Like, you can be proud of that. Basically, if you're just good at picking FF&E, if you're just good at sourcing, that's totally fine too. And you have to be honest about those things and know those things. So when you're talking to employers or looking for certain jobs, they want people who are confident and know what they're good at, because they don't want you to kind of lie and say, oh yeah, I know AutoCAD, but you haven't touched AutoCAD in 2 years. Like, you were taught AutoCAD, but if you haven't looked at it in 2 years, you need to brush up on it and do projects that are going to help you. Because if you get hired and they're saying, hey, we need this in 2 to 3 hours, you just need the basic plan, and they're like, and you're kind of sitting there, time is a waste, and time is money, and they're going to be quite upset. So my advice for that is definitely be yourself and know what you can bring to the table and be strong in your skills. And then also, I would say, build a strong portfolio. They want to see your work. They want to see what's in that brain of yours, because you can talk the talk, but they want to physically see your work. So build a really good portfolio. And when I say that, I mean, you do have your projects and they are at a certain level, that's fine. But you want to make the presentation look good as well. So you want high quality photos. You want to make sure that the layout of the portfolio is nice, that it speaks. So when they look at it, they know what your thought process was.
When you're in school, and especially our professors would always say, like, you're an interior designer, but you also kind of have to be a graphic designer.
Yes.
Because this could be like a really amazing project, but if you can't lay it out how it needs to look, then no one's really going to take that much of a look at it if it doesn't look appealing.
Make sure you take those graphic design classes, because they will help you a lot. Like, I'm so appreciative that Brunel offered graphic design, because they helped me not only learn Adobe programs, we learned Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, but it helped me know more about placement when it came to my portfolios and how to make it look good. I get compliments all the time on my portfolio, and I'm like, oh, thank you. Like, thanks a lot.
Oh, that's episode.
So definitely make sure you take those classes if they offer it in school.
So that's a question I also get a lot too. I'm glad that you touched on that. I get asked what classes should people be taking to help with interior design, because I have quite a big high school audience, I think, too. So they'll be in high school and they'll want to go into interior design. Also, shout out to all of you who already know that you want to go into interior design from high school. I had no idea.
I didn't either. I was in film.
So you guys
are for film initially.
I didn't know that. Oh my gosh, I went
totally different career.
Yeah, I actually I went to Florida State, and I applied to Florida State pre-med to satisfy my father. And then the minute I got to school, I was like, we are changing this immediately. I don't do needles. I always say graphic design.
Yes.
And I tell people to take art history classes if they can.
Yes.
Because I find those to be very helpful. And you have to take them when you get to school anyways. But if you already know something, it helps you with continuing the class.
It sharpens your skills. Like when you take these classes,
and any drawing class that you can take too.
Yes, definitely drawing, because sketching is real. And you can get a job doing sketching. Like
you can get a job just sketching.
It's so cool.
But do you have to be able to draw to be an interior designer?
No, I don't.
You heard it. I don't draw. Yeah, you do not have to draw to be an interior designer. And why do you think that is, that you don't have to have the skill of drawing?
It is 2020. There are computers. Yeah. Technology has saved us, people.
Yes,
if you're not good at drawing, technology is on your side. I think it helps. Okay, so before I go push that, I do want to say I do know how to sketch a little bit. I know how to get the idea across to clients and my boss. You know what I'm saying? So you still want to know the basics of it, but you don't have to be a Picasso of sketching. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel like the reason why we don't have to sketch as much is because I can easily, put it in my space planning program. I can easily put it in Revit and things like that. But if it's quick with clients on a slide and we need to give them an idea, I do know how to do that. Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. So Ashleigh just mentioned your boss. And that is a good transition. So in addition to running the studio social, Ashleigh also is a design assistant. So can you tell us a little bit about what a design assistant does on the day-to-day? And because that's a question I get asked a lot about people getting design assistant jobs.
Perfect. So basically, I can answer it saying that every design assistant does something different depending on the firm and the designer.
Okay.
Because I have two other friends who are design assistants, and we all do, it's the same, the foundation, but we all do different things. Because for me, with our business, for my boss that I work for, I kind of borderline project manager a little bit. Okay. And then my friend, who's a design assistant for a firm, she's straight design assistant. Like her position, her responsibilities doesn't go
into, there's no scope creep in her role.
Exactly. And so basically with the design assistant, you are assisting the designer or the team, the firm of the team. So basically you can go do sourcing, you can do day-to-day go pick up fabrics, materials for the projects. Okay. You can do light space planning if they need you to just put together a quick floor plan of a space or a home. Just varies depending on the project. You could schedule installs, so basically getting together the wallpaper guy, getting together the contractors, getting the electrician, scheduling those appointments. You can have, depending on the firm, like I said again, is how much communication you have with clients. Because I have constant communication with our clients. Like they text me like 9:00 at night, which is weird. But literally I have constant communication with our clients. But my other friend who is a design assistant, she doesn't talk to the clients at all. That's mainly the designer. If she has to talk to the client, it's through email. So it's not really a relationship that she has.
Building. Okay.
Exactly.
So some design assistant positions are one way you stay in your lane. Some you end up taking a bit more on the role than you thought the role was going to be. But would you say that varies depending on the size of the firm?
Yes.
So I would think that if you would work for a smaller firm, that you would scope creep, because at smaller firms, everybody's wearing a million hats. It doesn't really matter what their title says it is. They do everything.
Exactly. That's me. Are you a design assistant? Oh, I'm kind of project manager, designer too, / painter /
And if you were at like Perkinsonville or like Ginsler or something like that, then your design assistant role would very strictly be assist. Exactly. Stay in your lane, sis.
Because we have a project manager. We don't need you to do those things. Yeah. Like, we're okay here.
When you were in school, what class would you say was your favorite class, and what class did you just couldn't wait to get out of?
Okay, so my favorite class ever was our commercial design studio. That class made me realize I want to do workplace design if I went into commercial design. Okay. Because, Sandy, I promise, I really thought I was going to do hospitality. I was like, I'm going to do resorts. I'm going to travel the world. I am going to work at this firm that does hotels and country clubs. Because my internship was actually at a hospitality firm that did country clubs and resorts. Okay. And so I'm like, I'm going to do this. This is fun. I got in that commercial studio and we focused on workplace design. And I was like, oh my God, I love this. Like, what is this? Is this?
Yes. So that was your favorite class, commercial design.
Yes.
What class were you like, when does this end? When time?
I'm going to be honest. I'm a truth teller. I did not like architectural drawing. I don't like drawing. I
don't think anybody likes architectural drawing.
It doesn't click with me. Like, I did what I was supposed to do to pass the class.
Unless you're an architect.
Yes, unless you're an architect and your mind works like that. I just couldn't. I just couldn't. And I was so ready for this class to be
over. That's the class, I think, that weeds people out. If you can't make it through a drafting class,
it touches your passion, people.
It does. That's the class where you learn, this is not decorating, this is serious, this is our big leagues. I started my class with maybe like 30 kids in it, and I think like 9 people turned in their assignment at the end of the class.
Yeah. No, it's just so true like that.
All right. So what is a design book that you recommend to those at home who are interested in design?
I would suggest Kim Kutable's book, Branding Plus Interior Design.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one. Okay.
It's a really, really good read. It's basically teaching interior designers how to brand themselves. Because with school, they kind of...
They don't teach you that in school.
They don't. You really only have like one class of business where they kind of... And each school curriculum is different. Like some of them teach you how to be professional in the workplace and how to get jobs. And then you have other ones that teach you how to start your own interior design business, but they just kind of give you the basic foundation. They don't go into the nitty gritty. And with this book, it basically teaches you how to brand your company, how to find the right clientele for you, and basically give you the tools on how to build the processes for your interior design business.
Okay. So piggybacking off of that and having a successful design business, do you think you need a degree to have a successful design business?
No, I do not think that. I think I actually work for a designer who doesn't have a design degree, and he's very, very successful.
So just fabulous. I love his work. so good. He's so talented.
So awesome.
He's
I
so
love
talented.
him. I have to say that. Do I have to say that? I love my boss. No, I do love him. I really do. We have a good relationship. Literally, I really don't think that you have to. I literally seen many designers be successful off of starting from a blog because they love interior design. Mm-hmm. And it just skyrocket, and they get clientele, they get opportunities to really design and put their smarts and creativity to work. So I cannot say you have to have a degree because you don't have to.
No, not really. What is the advice that you would give, the number one advice that you would give to students who are in school right now and want to go on to be designers?
Get out of your books, off the computer, out of those programs, and go get experience. Get to work. Because I've experienced it, and I know other design students who have experienced where going through those, getting early internships, going to volunteer opportunities, you learn what you like and what you don't like in the interior design industry.
So important to learn what you don't like.
Right, like you learn your specialties. Like I remember when I initially started my freshman year in college that I started with a designer, and at that moment I kind of realized like, maybe I don't like residential too much. Like it's okay, like I will do it and I'm good at it, but I don't know. Let me see what else is out there. And then I kind of dabbled, and I worked in a showroom around textiles, materials. I worked for Sherwin-Williams. I was working with paints for like 2 years.
That's right. You were a consultant for Sherwin-Williams.
Yeah, and I learned it helped me learn my paint colors. Like I learned about paint. So when I do work on projects for work, like I know how to specify paints really well, and I'm good at picking a paint color for a space. Literally,
I need you to give me some help after that. After this, I need help with paint color.
I got you. Literally getting out of your books and really putting forth the effort is going to help you hit the ground running, and it's going to help you build those relationships. And that's what the Studio Social is really about, is helping you helping students and early people that's in the design industry to start building your resume right now, because it's helpful. Because I've seen individuals who waited to their senior year last semester, and they don't really have no relationship, they have no network of people, of professionals that they can reach out to and say, hey, I need an internship, can you help me out? Or hey, I need a job, or anything like that. So I believe, and I've seen, and I'm one of those people, is where I built those relationships by starting my freshman year. So please start building those resumes right now and getting to work. Like go find a designer and say, hey, can I shadow you at least? Or go get a mentor. Like be proactive, be physical in it. Go hit the ground running.
I want to double down on what she just said. That is so powerful to me.
Yeah.
When I was in school, I was so concerned with like getting an A in every single class and making sure that everything was perfect. And now looking back on it, I would rather get a B in that class or even get a C in that class and have built a relationship with someone in the industry, if that was the cost of it. Because out of school, your projects take like 40, 50 hours outside of your full-time schooling to complete. I would rather slack off on a project and maybe not do well on that and have taken on an internship. Than complete that project, because that's going to be more valuable to you than after. Because
in interior design, a lot of people, they try to compare it to other industries. We're not like the medical field. We're not like the education field, if you will, or, in law and things like that, where your GPA and those grades matter. Like you have to have a certain GPA that you made in school to get a certain job. No, because they don't look at your GPA
in all the
at
interviews
jobs.
That you've been on, all the interviews that I've been on, has anyone ever asked you what the GPA was?
They do not ask that. It's okay to put on your resume. It's cool, but they don't ask that. They want to know what you've done. They want to know your experience. They want to know, who do you know? Like, because who you know speaks volume in this industry. Because please go out and start building those relationships and get your feet wet. Go get some paint on your jeans.
Something. Final thing I want to talk to you about. I get a lot of comments from you guys, and you ask a lot of questions, and I don't think that everybody gets to see all the comments that everybody else is making. Mm-hmm. And I think that if one person has a question about it, then probably a ton of people have a question about it. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to pick a comment that I have gotten. This is from Sisters in Tandem. She gave it to me about 2 months ago, and I answered, but I only answered to her and not to the rest of you. So her question is, can I become an interior designer if I graduate as an architect student?
Yes. Yes, you can. I don't, there's no real reason there's not a division with architect and designers. And designers, there's a difference, but there isn't no major difference where you can't cross over
into the other one.
Exactly.
The only thing I would say is I don't know if this is true, but I'll try and find out. If you're a designer and you want to become an architect, you do need some additional schooling and additional certifications. Yes. It is not I don't believe it's true the other way. So if you're an architect, you don't need any more additional schooling to become a designer. You'll have everything that you need. But I think it's a bit more science and math intensive to be an architect. So and probably physics, I would imagine.
I actually met a girl at the Atlanta Design Festival last year, 2019, and she actually started out as an architect, and then she crossed over into interior design, and she didn't have to do any extra classes or anything like that. But I do think what you were saying is true, that you do have.
If you're a designer crossing into architecture, you do need additional certification because architects can stamp drawings and designers cannot.
Yeah.
All right. That concludes our interview. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. Thank you guys.
Thank you for being my first.
Oh, that was helpful.
Yes. She was super helpful. If you have any questions for Ashleigh, I'm going to link all of her information down below, the studio's social, her Instagram, and the book that she mentioned as well. If you want to grab that. So it's on Amazon, right?
Yes, it is.
I will put that link for you.
It's a good price point. You won't break the bank.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much for clicking to watch my channel.
Please reach out.
Yes, please reach out if you have any questions, and give it a thumbs up, please, and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. As I always say, all right, you can't be out here watching my videos not subscribed. I need you to put a ring on it, is what I'm saying.
Right.
All right. If you like it, if you liked this content, you need to put a ring on. You need to commit to me.
I'm about to commit to her.
A subscription. Through a subscription, you guys.
Remember,
I'm a good wife.
Relationships.
Yes, we're building relationships. Who do you know? Marry me. Okay. All right. That's enough. That's enough. Okay, we're done. We're gonna stop.